Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I understand it's, there's a lot going on in the tourism business. There's a lot going on in general, actually. And so time is precious. And so I just want to start by appreciating the time that you have to join us. As you may notice, this session is actually in English because my Portuguese is not too great right now, staying at home. So I'll be continuing in English, and we can pick up on questions after my session so that we can go through, as much as possible. So Google My Business, and essentially understanding how to bring your business, your storefront to the digital world. And this is what I want to go over today. My name is Zeina. I am the Omnichannel Regional Product Lead at Google for the Europe, Middle East, and African markets. And essentially I hold a portfolio of products in the world of omnichannel, like Google My Business, and I help to commercialize them in these regions. And so I'm going to go over what we have for the agenda today. Essentially, I'm going to talk to you about what is Google My Business and how it's suited for your business, who it's suited for. I want to help you understand what Google My Business can do today based on today's business context for the tourism world. I'm going to tell you how you can help start to prepare to the opening of our businesses again in hopefully the near future. And then when life gets back to normal, what are the guidelines to keep in mind with your Google My Business account? So what is Google My Business? Essentially, Google My Business, you would go to, you either search on Google My Business, or you can go on www.google.com/business. And it's a free account that Google provides you to really be able to have your digital storefront show up on Google properties. So you can see on the right-hand side, you can open up, it's a free format, it's a free tool. You can register your business, and essentially it is catered to whichever businesses hold a physical or offline presence. So in the travel industry, for example, it would be for a physical travel agency. It would be for a hotel where people can physically go in, a restaurant, spa, gym, a sports facility, even an airport can have a Google My Business account. And so the reason why I stress that it needs to be a physical location is because we need to make sure that we are representing the true physical locations online. And we do that through a verification process of your physical address. We send you actually a mail to the physical post office, post address that you place in Google My Business to verify that this actually reflects the true reality of what's happening offline. And so Google My Business is this account where you fill all the information in, but what comes out of Google My Business is your business profile. So if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see that when somebody searches for a very relevant search query, businesses pop up just under the Google Maps picture over there. And so this pops up, and this is the business profile, of which the information came from the Google My Business account of Park Tavern. So super powerful because it brings the correct information about your business, like opening hours, what your value proposition is, any kind of attributes, and we'll go over all of this. But it allows you to be present on the Google search as well as Google Maps for free. So it helps you stand out. It helps clients re-engage with your business, and it makes it the most relevant information that pops up for the searches that are relevant for your business. And so when you look on a laptop, Google My Business or Google Business profile looks very much like this. So on the top left side, you see a Google search advertising, which I'm sure you've noticed. Underneath there are organic results. And then again, the business profile is the tab on the right-hand side, and where I've highlighted in blue. This is, for example, for Honest Soul Yoga. You can see all the information they have there, where it's located, the address, the opening hours, the phone numbers, how to schedule, an appointment with them, etc. So this is all the kinds of information you can see from the Google My Business account that Honest Soul Yoga would have to plug into their account. So Google My Business is an incredibly powerful tool. Not only is it for free, it provides you information on Google Maps as well as Google Search, but also it allows for consumers to connect with you. So we have a number of consumers on a monthly basis going through Google My Business business profiles, anything from restaurants to the hotel searches that take place, clothing stores, hair salons, and coffee shops. And this can be from, clicking to call the business directly or requesting driving or walking directions to the business. So really powerful to help the online consumer connect to your offline business with this solution. I like to show this slide because it shows, the results that you receive on a Google search is really impactful. When you take a look at the two examples I have here, the empty listings versus the complete Google My Business profile. So on the left side, the owner of Amy's Bakery did not put any very relevant information. So it has put some an address. Somebody had suggested, so a user suggested that it may be a baking supply store. And so this doesn't seem very appealing as a customer or a consumer who's looking for Amy's Bakery. However, on the right-hand side, you can see it's been marked as a bakery. It has, stars for customers that have come and have rated this business. It tells you there are posts that Amy's Business has provided. So it really makes it much more confident. You can call, have the driving directions, or go to the website of Amy's Bakery. And you can see on the statistics on the left is that, studies have shown that it's actually 2 times more likely to be considered reputable if you have more information on your Google My Business and your business profile as a result. So it's really about helping customers identify and understand what your business and what your value proposition is, and then helping them get to connect with you online. So that in a sum, and very briefly, what Google My Business and what the solution looks like. But let's deep dive into what are the things you can do today to help adapt to today's business. And then what are the things that in the travel industry or in the hospitality industry or the restaurant industry, what you can be doing to be able to improve your profile so that you can have a much more impactful or powerful proposition when somebody looks at your business profile. So 4 key points here on how to respond today. So number 1, as we know, a lot of businesses are closed or temporarily closed or have different timings today. So make sure that you are updating your opening hours. And as you can see here, that I have inserted a number of links that you can click out to once you receive these slides with all the information, all the instructions in Portuguese on how to do exactly each of the steps that I'm providing you throughout the entire presentation. So number 1 point, super important to update the opening hours based on today's reality. Second is make sure to communicate temporary closures. So we have essentially, we have a way to, on Google My Business, to say that your store is temporarily closed, not permanently closed, temporary closed. And we'll talk about a bit more of, the special announcements that we can put based on COVID's impact on the businesses onto your Google My Business. So again, this is very important to say, if the business is closed temporarily, there is a marker showing temporary closed so that people can know, at a certain time, the stores will reopen again. It's important to manage the information that are there in terms of your operations. Essentially, we are making labels where you can talk about what changes you have done into your physical business. Things like if you're a restaurant business, maybe putting takeout as an option, so takeaway as an option, or delivery only as an option, or maybe updating your hygienical standards. If you're a hotel and you've, I've read on the news that there's initiatives to get hotels to do updates on the hygienics, so any kind of having gels and things like that, making sure that you can put that as a label into your Google My Business so that when somebody looks at your business profile, they can say, yep, they've been checked for, they've checked off that they are considered consistent with the standards of having gloves available at the reception, for example. So those kinds of business descriptions are available for you to do at the moment on Google My Business. And then lastly, what we highly recommend is creating a post. So similar to a post on social media, it would be a post showing on your Google My Business to talk about any updates you've done to your business. So anything to do with gift card purchasing, or maybe purchasing bonds before going to a restaurant or a hotel. So €100 bond will be the equivalent of €120 of the coupon, when you go to the restaurant. So posting that as an option or as a promotion for you to drive interest for your business today. We have a number of different ideas on Google My Business for you to adapt to that. So those are the 4 key things that I think are very, very relevant for today's world. There are instructions, once again, on each of the slides over here. You can click through and look at the Portuguese instructions on how to apply that for your specific account.
Zeina, I think you have a question here.
Oh, okay.
There's like a sign on the tab on the conversation. You just need to click it. Can you check it?
There's a sign on the tab that I need to click. Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, there's like on the tab that has the recording and all the icons. There's an icon for conversations.
Yeah.
Where you just open the chat tab, and there's a question on the chat for you.
Here. My target customers are from various countries. How to support multilingual Google My Business views? That is a very good question. What I'm happy to do is provide you with instructions on how to do that. Google My Business does appear based on different languages. And Jose, do you mind having this for me to send as a URL, like to the group afterwards?
Yes, that's absolutely fine. Or you can even add to the presentation.
Exactly.
As an URL, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, super. I'll provide an answer for that after the session. Thanks for the question. Okay, that's the only question I've had so far. Fantastic. So let me jump into what you should be doing today in order to prepare for what's to come. There are a lot of different changes that you can make, things that maybe you have tried or maybe that you don't know about that you should be adopting today, just so that you can be better prepared or better bulletproof to be able to receive your customers once the business is open and once the business is, is moving forward quickly. So number one, if you are a big business, if you have multiple branches or multiple people working in your team, we highly, highly recommend having a core team within your business. So whether it's in marketing, in digital marketing, or in commercialization, for example, and assigning different people, access to your account. So there are different roles people can have access to. You can be an owner, which allows you the majority of the kinds of changes you can make on a Google My Business account. For example, an owner can change the URL that shows on the business profile. You can have a manager. A manager allows for a few less changes that they can make on the account. For example, a manager can change the opening hours, but cannot change the URL on the Google My Business account. There's a site manager. A site manager is the least amount of access that can be provided to somebody in the business. And a site manager, for example, can create posts, can respond to messages that take place on the Google My Business account. So a lot of different things and different kinds of accesses that are available based on the role of the person that can be taken on the profile account. You can have multiple owners, so not just one necessarily, and you can have multiple managers and multiple site managers. But we highly recommend essentially having a number of people contributing in different ways to the Google My Business account. And if you're a small shop, then that's totally fine. You can have just one owner that really looks over the entire business and the entire messaging of the Google My Business account. Number two is, this is all about sticking to, these are the very basics. We highly recommend having these 4 core basics onto your Google My Business. One is the information, the basic information, things like having the correct address, understanding the hours that are open and the changes that have taken place, the contact information, so phone number, email address, and a quick description of your business. It's really important because it also helps you tag what business you are in the back end on Google My Business, so that when searches are taking place on the search bar, for example, hotels in the Algarve, your Google My Business is already tagged in the back end as a hotel and relevant to that search. So it increases the chances of it showing on a search that takes place that's relevant. The second is adding photos, logos, cover photos, any kind of business photos that you can be adding would be great. Customers can also add photos. So there's 2 tabs on the photos section where there's ones that have been uploaded by you, by the business, and there are others that have been uploaded by the customers. And I think it's always amazing to have a complement of both. Because if you have just the customers, it could really depend on what kind of customers that join. If it just has the business, it really, it shows another perspective. So it really helps you amplify what you want to be promoting about your business. Creating and adding website links, super important. I can't stress enough that while Google My Business is really strong and it's a great stepping stone to getting people interested in your business, we highly recommend linking out to a website. And if you do not have a website, Google My Business actually provides you a very simple, easy option to create it's kind of like a microsite based on the very basic assets that you probably already have today, like photos, logos, phone numbers, and things like that. So if you don't have a website already created, don't worry. Google My Business does allow you to create a microsite, and so you can link out to that microsite very easily. And then lastly is what I was telling you about, these added detailed attributes. These are really important because not only do they pop up when your business profile shows, but also it provides a bit more detail that could be, that could sway the customer to go to you and not somebody else. So understanding that a restaurant is kid-friendly, that children are welcome to this restaurant, understanding that a coffee shop or the lobby of a hotel has free Wi-Fi could be interesting. Wheelchair accessibility is very important. There are a number of different attributes that you can plug in, or you can write the attribute that you have yourself. Speak multiple languages for a hotel or a travel agency, for example. And so you can write your own detailed attribute yourself, or there are attributes already there, like wheelchair accessible, free Wi-Fi, etc. The very typical ones. So, exactly. So don't forget to add your website onto your Google My Business. This is a very good example of what the simple website that Google My Business provides you already. It's automatically created and it customizes based on the assets that you have already placed into your Google My Business. So if you do not have a website yourself, no problem. You can create one very easily with Google My Business. Here's creating posts. This is essentially what creating posts look like. And we recommend having a post there based on today's situation, so with COVID-19 related context, but also to engage with customers on your business. So what I've seen happen a lot is that a lot of businesses are creating coupons that people can buy today and then redeem tomorrow. So how do we create these posts? Great question. There's a number, you can click here once you have the slides tomorrow, and I'll show you the exact instructions on how to do that. We'll talk about setting up attributes in just a moment for Antonio, who's just asked the question. And so when we're creating posts, don't forget it's a way to engage, but it's also a way to have a promotion on your business. It's really important that you make sure that even if you have created a post here, you can even amplify it on other mediums. So here are the types of posts that you can create. So actually, before I move forward, Margarita has asked, for hotels, it's not possible to create a post, right? That's a very good question. I'm not entirely sure if there's a restriction for hotels, Margarita, but I will get back to you with these slides tomorrow with an answer to that. Okay. So the question on whether hotels can create posts or not, but here are the posts that are possible. There's, a kind of what's new posts. You can talk about what's coming up, any new promotions. You can talk about specific products. You can talk about offers. So you can create a coupon code, as I was talking about, or even an event, which we recommend once business is up and running again, where you can link to a scheduling or a booking button, so that customers can look at this and be able to click through and go into the website where they can do the bookings for that event. The reviews over here, we highly recommend. We see that the more reviews Google My Business has, the more likely people are comfortable with moving forward or making a purchase or reaching out to this business. So we think that having reviews is very difficult sometimes, right? There's good reviews, there's also bad reviews, right? There's people that are positive, there are people that are negative. And so we think it's important, and we have guidelines once you click here to be able to help you respond to people putting negative reviews about your business. And so you should be able to, what we highly recommend is always try to respond, say thank you, but also make sure that you acknowledge that the feedback has been provided, as well as walk through the guidelines that we have provided on how to respond to a negative review of your business. I think in all, it's always very good to have reviews, especially by bringing the brand loyalty and making and understanding or communicating that others are really receptive to your brand or your business. So here's the best practices on the negative reviews. We think that, negative reviews are difficult to swallow. It's a difficult medication to swallow, right? It's hard to see people saying negative things about your business, but here are a few guidelines just to make sure that, you're doing the right thing. Is one, make sure not to panic, right? Everyone receives bad feedback sometimes, or negative feedback. Evaluate the situation, really understand what they have purchased, or try to understand what has been purchased and how the reactions took place offline or online. We also recommend taking a step back when you receive a negative review and do some self-reflection, see how things can change in the future, what you can learn, as well as what you can promote internally as new guidelines, new best practices towards customers, and finally see if there's anything that you need to rectify or change in your business based on the situation that you've received. Here, how to get more reviews. There's a very easy way to reach out to customers, for example, that have come to your restaurants, that you have their email address from a booking, for example, or at a hotel, the email address of that person. So what you can do is you can go onto your Google My Business account, as you can see on the right-hand side, and click on Share Review Form. That will allow you to have a very short URL that you can plug into an email address when you send the thank you email to your customers after they've gone to your hotel or your restaurant. So that's an easy way for you to start generating more reviews organically. Another way is to have it actually very physical. So I've seen this happen quite a bit. I live in Paris, and so I see this happen quite a bit over there, where businesses have printed out a photo of their Google My Business and say, please review us. Have you enjoyed the service that you've received? If so, find us on this URL and go review us. And I have to say, I've done it quite a few times. And I think it's very encouraging to have this at the checkout or at the payment, to have a little sign showing this as a recommendation for the customers. Messaging to communicate with customers. We have essentially a messaging system in Google My Business that allows customers to reach out to you in a very easy way. And we highly recommend it. It also depends on the kind of business you are in, right? For example, we see that, for example, a hotel, it's very good to have a messaging system to understand, be able to have an easy, quick contact. It's, fully free and fully integrated into the Google My Business platform, and you can get it from having the app on your phone. The good thing about this messaging system is that once somebody writes you a message, there's an automatic welcome message to the customer that will allow you to have some time. So you will receive a pop-up on your side on your app, and then give you some time to respond, within the 24 hours, for example. Casa Contiga asks, how do you get the fast URL for reviews? It takes me always quite some work. The URL is super long. That's a very good question. I do have very similar to this. So going back here, you will be able to click over here on the Get More Reviews, and I'll share with you the link that tells you the short name of the review. So you can put, for example, g.page/ and then Casa Contiga holiday /review. And then somebody can go to that URL very quickly and go directly to your review page. So this situation pops up. So I'll share with you the link there. Okay, let's talk about number 5. So detail what services you can provide. As I had mentioned, there's quite a few services that that you can tag your business to, so that not only do the users see what services you have to offer, but also that allows the algorithm to understand what is most relevant to the search queries that take place. And you'll be able to see that over here, and that when you click on this link. But for example, in the types of services that are suggested for travel agencies can be flight booking, can be hotel booking, could be cruise ship bookings. So you can start to have essentially a menu of services that you can provide to your customers without them having to go into your website. And this allows them for easy scroll within your Google My Business page before really looking into your website and understanding where to navigate there. In terms of bookings are available for businesses on Google My Business. It's an appointment. Essentially, you can create an appointment very easily. You would just have to plug in with a third-party scheduling provider. And it's available for dining business, activities such as yoga, for example, beauty, fitness, and it allows you to very easily incorporate your available schedules, as well as telling the customers when you're closed, so that the customers are able to send you a message to make a booking open for them. Booking requests can be done through messaging as well, just so that you know. I feel like a lot of people are like, why should I message when I can book? It is possible to do both through both different formats. Sometimes people prefer to speak to somebody before making a booking. Some people are very comfortable, probably loyal customers coming back to you, can easily just make the booking directly from the platform. We really like the following, having the option over here to follow your business, because that shows that you have a loyalty, that shows that you have a customer base. And so again, that provides a bit more comfort for customers that are interested in like reading through your business profile, but also ones that want to receive offers, want to receive news and posts from you whenever you create one. And so we highly recommend having this followers option. That way, that allows you to create an organic buzz around you. I really love, and this is probably my favorite feature on Google My Business, is the Insights page. Being at Google, we absolutely love data. And so Google My Business has an amazing set of data that can help you understand how people are getting to your business profile. So it'll give you examples of the kinds of searches people are creating, that people are writing on Google, and then when you appear. It tells you the percentage of people that are, even the number of people that are clicking on your search, Google My Business profile, or the maps business profiles. So which platforms are they clicking on when they're going to your Google My Business information, as well as the kind of actions that they are having. So you can have a number of actions like visiting a website, as you can see on the right-hand side, visiting a website, finding directions, calling, booking, messaging. And so it gives you a monthly statistic, a 3-month statistic as well on where all this traffic is coming from and how they're getting to you. I highly recommend looking into that to really understand and know how to engage, especially when you're working with a wider team that is managing your Google My Business. Maybe you should open up more telephone lines. Maybe you should have somebody who's more reactive or faster to react on messaging. Maybe the search queries that they're receiving you, that they're finding you on, the customers are finding you on search queries that you never thought about. Maybe they're looking for, manicures when you're actually a hairdresser. So maybe you should think about, is this a service that you're willing to provide? So the number of the kinds of activities people are searching you for, as well as the actions that they are making to get to your business profiles can be incredibly insightful to properly communicate and properly brand your business to the customers online. And insight number 10 over here is about the local actions, exactly what I had mentioned, the different formats in which people can speak to you. These are called local actions. The driving directions, calls, saving a page is super important. Sharing it with somebody else is also an option. But local actions is really trying to get them to your physical store. So how do you get bookings available? You can actually, there's a bookings and reservations tab that you can create from Singular Trips. This was a question. Over here, you can create a schedule and booking. You'll have to work with a third-party scheduling provider in order to integrate that. And Google My Business actually provides you with the different options of providers that can do that with you. I'm happy to send you there's actually a link here to go directly to how to incorporate the booking feature. And I'll give you the step-by-step on how it's done. I hope that answers your question. Is the booking feature a paid feature? That's a very good question. Let me have that answer for you, and I'll stick it onto this slide, Sarah, so that you can know exactly what the answer is. I don't believe it's certainly not paid to Google, but it may have to be paid to the third-party provider. And I'll get back to you on that, Sarah. Booking feature. Okay. Super. So these are the local actions that we highly recommend, integrating, just so that you can actually drive people to your physical presence as well. Some best practices, just to wrap up, on dining. If you are a hotel with a restaurant, if you're a restaurant, bar, spa, anywhere that has a dining or a coffee shop, you can add your menu onto Google My Business, which we highly recommend. It gets really good traffic, and it also, again, helps with the information that gets ingested in the back end to be able to understand how to map you to the search queries. Again, the booking features, which we've talked about, and I'll get back to you whether on it's paid for or not. You can have photos. We really like having hero photos of popular dishes. So here are my hero photos. These are the most popular dishes that we have. These are the most popular services that we have, yoga on a rooftop. You can talk about, having a pool feature, for example. And then finally having future opening dates to get people excited on new events that take place as well. So we, again, highly recommend having very brief but very consistent information on dining. There's quite a number of features around that. So after this, I'm going to go into 4 key recommendations on life once everything comes back to normal, and how to really rebound as much as possible using Google My Business as a core platform. So Again, making sure your opening hours are fresh. We have seen changes in opening hours. We have seen changes in, days that people are opening or shifts that people are providing. Some businesses are providing shifts based on the different kinds of customers, whether you're elderly, whether you're, working in hospitals, for example. And so making sure to communicate that as much as possible so that people are aware how to get to your business at the right time so that they can make the most out of it. And we have a link over here on how to do that. Promote your reopening. It's a very exciting moment for everyone. And once you reopen, we highly recommend having a post, providing that update on Google My Business and making sure that you communicate the right messages to the customer so that it's relevant. What changes have you made to your business, if any? What updates that they need to know about? What new services you are willing to provide? I think all of these and setting the right tone given the context is really important. So not only just promoting your business, but also recomforting the customers that now is the right time to come and enjoy your service, enjoy your business. We've seen some companies also create an event. Having an opening event or having a shared event where, while keeping in mind the context, not necessarily having a party, for example, where there's a lot of people at it. I don't think that would be appropriate, but really understanding what kind of momentum is important at this specific time, and again using the best practices on the posts as guidelines on what you can or cannot share for this post-COVID-19 world. And lastly, there are certain interests that you can provide, which are super interesting, where it can pop up and show and be an offer. So, for example, you can have a post like this, where you can insert a button like this View Offer Post, View Offer button, and it can open up and give you even more details on the coupon, on the promotion, on the event that takes place. That way, there is more context, there is more information before they jump into their website and really try to navigate and understand how to get to this promotion with the more details again. Again, more information on the posts and best practices on how to do so on this link. And so I want to give you a content recap. This was a lot of information, I understand. I am just hopeful that you will receive all the slides as well as all the instructions on how to apply all the recommendations there with you tomorrow. But very quick recap on what takes place. So responding to a situation, make sure you keep in mind and reflect your opening hours correctly, communicating a temporary closure instead of a permanent closure, if that's the case. Understanding how you can change your business description to reflect the current operational changes or operational adaptations or pivots that you've had to apply. And then lastly, providing any kind of comforting information on what changes you've made in your business to make sure that customers understand, what reactions have taken place in your business, in your day-to-day business, to make them feel at ease. Preparing for the rebound, there's a lot of brilliant basics that I think you should remember. Having your business information so that your customers understand what your value proposition is. Having your photos, logo cover photos, talking about detailed attributes, telling them if you have free Wi-Fi, if you are, open to, a seniors night, for example, or if you have a pool service or a spa service, for example. Creating posts on products, promotions, responding to reviews. Again, I highly recommend looking at the best practices for that, using the messaging, the booking features, putting your menu or dishes on as dining, as well as providing a following button so that those that are interested in your business receive the information that you update on a regular basis proactively. And lastly, looking at the Insights tab, we highly recommend on your Google My Business platform. It gives you a lot of really interesting and granular information on what customers are looking for when they get to your business profile page. Lastly, to open up, talk about your reopening, talk about the changes that you've made, update your opening hours and make sure that you respond based on the right kind of tone and circumstance. And with that, I say obrigada, and I'm happy to answer a few more questions that we have here. I'm hoping we have enough time. If I'm Jose, I don't know if you're still around.
Zeina, we are still on time, actually. There's still 6 minutes too.
Super.
So I think, and normally if there's high engagement, then if we have the chance and the time, then we keep on with answering to a couple of questions. But I think you did a brilliant job. You've already covered the questions throughout your presentation, actually. So I would say that if there's, let's say, a last one, or kind of the $1 million question that everybody is actually waiting for and haven't posed yet, please go on, do it now.
And also, Zeina, could you please just share the link for the feedback so that
yes, okay.
Take just 2 minutes just to answer. It's just a very simple question and some additional comments if you want about what went well and what we would like to see more of and improve, so that we can hear from you while building the next sessions.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of people have asked about the followers. There is more information on the slides, and I'll share with you where it's available. You'll be able to click out and get the exact instructions on followers here. Click here to learn more about your followers. Click here to create a welcome offer. This is about the followers, and you should be able to get to the exact page that tells you all the instructions. And you can actually translate it into Portuguese. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the page and change your language, it'll give you the step-by-step on how to do that. And I've made sure to plug that into every single slide so that everything I've talked about, you'll be able to click out and look at the exact instructions on how to do so. I hope that information is there. Link para feedback. No link on slide from here. Please message it. Mayong, which slide are you talking about? Okay, it looks like on the followers. Yeah, I will be linking it in. Don't you worry. You should have it by tomorrow. And then let me see any last questions. Can we link Google My Business to our social media pages? That's a very good question, actually, Sofia Santos. I think so. Absolutely, you can. The question, I think there's two sides to the question, actually. Can you link Google My Business to media page, and can you link the social media page to Google My Business? So what you can do is provide your social media URLs on your posts, for example, or on your descriptions, but you wouldn't be able to have a native click out to your social media page. We highly recommend doing both sides, right? Clicking out to your social media page and having your social media page also promote your Google My Business. That way there's organic traffic coming from both sides. Use popular times feature through Google My Business API. So let me repeat that question. So Felipe has asked me, I'd like to know if I can use the popular times feature through Google My Business API. So that's a highly technical question. I will look into that, Felipe, and get back to you tomorrow. Okay, I'll take notes of that once the session is over. And absolutely, we'll be sharing these slides tomorrow so that you will have access to everything I've gone through and the click outs to all the URLs with the instructions. And I think with that, I will end the session, and I'll take notes of, I'll still be here, but I'll be taking notes of all the questions that have already been asked until 4:58, so that I'll be able to answer everything and put them all in the slides at the very end, so you guys can have all the information there. Thank you, everyone. Have a brilliant Wednesday, and I hope it's sunny where you are.
Thank you so much, Zeina. Hope everyone enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Zeina. It was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bom, obrigado a todos. Acho que agora já estão todos em banda, toda a gente a sair. Damos como terminado então este webinar e fiquem atentos aos próximos, diria eu.
Sim, exatamente. Do nosso lado teremos mais sessões da Google. Estejam atentos ao calendário da Nest. Obrigado a todos.